You're welcome back. It's time for Joy News Interactive, and joining me is the lovely Aisha. Aisha, how you doing?
I'm good, but good to see you.
Always good to see you.
In your beautiful Friday outfit. But thank God it's Friday, and you know how we do it on Friday. So just relax, get a cold drink, and enjoy the sweet conversation. It's on facebook.com/Joy News on TV, and on Twitter it's on Joy News on TV. Let's start with So we're starting with the Volta Regional House of Chiefs, who have suspended the paramount chiefs and queen mothers of Nkonya and Alavanyo indefinitely for their inability to maintain peace in their traditional areas. This is obviously bad news for them, but it has left many wondering about how far this move by the House of Chiefs can go to achieve results. Question: do you think the suspension can work positively in bringing peace to the area?
In one breath, what I do believe that is that the National House of Chiefs, the Volta Regional House of Chiefs, they also have a role to play in bringing peace to those societies. What I believe in is they should have worked in hand. They should have collaborated.
I don't think this suspension can do anything or can make any effect. I mean, we have National House of Chiefs and several other things are going on. They can't talk about it. And you think suspending a chief and a queen can bring peace in that area? No, I don't think that's the case. They should find the cause, the real cause, and they should deal with the issue. As government, I've heard our government is intervening, and I think it's in the right direction.
So I don't think the House of Chiefs did the right thing, because suspending the heads of Nkonya and Alavanyo, it wouldn't bring peace, because you've suspended both heads, right? That's not going to solve the issue.
It's a bold step by the House of Chiefs to actually put pressure on the chiefs of both communities to actually take a step in doing something. I believe that our chiefs, local chiefs, they have that power. We listen to them to some extent, and if they are being pressurized by the House of Chiefs to actually do something, and they actually take that bold step and come their people together to one cause, I think that it's a reasonable thing for House of Chiefs to do.
Interesting comments from the streets of Accra. A lot of people are also talking on Facebook. Arab will help us read those messages.
Indeed, Barry Makubaji Jinjini says, that's the poorest decision ever. Why would the defiance of my kids upon all I do to make them go in line with the laid down rules be on my head? The security services must rather be proactive and crack the whip. Those involved in those dastardly acts must be brought to book to deter others. Simplicita.
But of course, they have a role to play. The chiefs and queen mothers have a role to play in maintaining peace in their.
Certainly.
And of course, if your children don't listen to you, some way, somehow, you carry their burden.
Exactly. Kwesi Boasi Ayimpa says the Volta Regional House of Chiefs itself needs to be disbanded for not being able to ensure peace between the two factions. Why should you suspend a subsection of you for not being able to deliver the very mandate that you were established to perform? So that's the question he's asking. Hey, for the income, Asari says, not really, I think. However, the action taken is good. Leaders should be held accountable for messes that go on in our communities. In that case, they will take their subjects seriously. Makante Matthew writes, this would never solve the chieftaincy problem in these two communities because they are not ready to live peacefully with each other, and until they realize that peace is an important instrument for development, they will never stop fighting.
And AJ Shirame says, these chiefs are not serious. Can the BA House of Chiefs ban Domahene or Techiman from ruling? Can Ashanti Regional House of Chiefs ban Otumfo, Tofia Kwadonde? It will cause more chaos. And Amwako Rex for the Paris says suspending them is not the best because they don't have the power to rule over people like they used to do in ages, and this being taken from them to the security sector. And also on this note, they should have seen to it that the security is doing their work to the maximum, but it's good anyway. It's a lesson for the rest to learn from. Prince Nuruddin Baumia says they should rather find alternative means of resolving this protracted conflict than suspending the chiefs indefinitely. Well, very good comments there. Also, the Youth Employment Agency has been in the news these few days due to an alleged fraud case. 2,999 people are said to be drawing allowances with no work done. To this effect, the agency has suspended payments of allowances to beneficiaries until the full audit of the account is completed. Question: how do you think this should be handled, and who should take responsibility for this?
I think direct responsibility should be at the CEO, the head of the organization. Direct responsibility, because he is in charge of it. And then going upwards, there's the financier of the organization. So maybe they have a financial department. That person should be held in charge. The human resource department should be put in charge, because they handle who come into the company and who goes out. I think also going up, the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Labor, people should ask them questions about how the structure is being held.
They've spotted some errors in the registry, and they are trying to make some cleanup. So the fact that there are some people who are actually on grounds working doesn't guarantee that they should boycott that exercise and continue to pay the goods. So I think there should be some kind of sacrificial here. They should still go on with the exercise and make sure that those who are being paid are actually the people who are on grounds working.
First of all, I think the CEO or whatever, the head of the YEA should be held responsible, and then he should also hold the person in charge of the account section responsible, because I just don't seem to, like, I don't get it. Because normally I know these government agencies, they normally do audits. When they audit, they take up those who are no longer working with them, they take their names out, and then they make sure the register is clear, those they pay. So personally, I'm thinking it's a deliberate attempt by certain people within the organization to run down the system. I don't know, but I think it's a deliberate attempt.
All right, so let's check out what you people have been saying on Facebook also.
And Kanini, I guess that's your name. I hope I got it right. Kanini Stephen writes, in my view, government should cancel the youth employment program because these malfeasances are pervasive. Anytime there's youth employment, it also makes government think that they are creating jobs, but rather people are enriching themselves through ill-gotten payments. It surprises me how YEA recruits people who never attended SHS because of their past poor performance to teach JHS students, and we expect students to pass BECE. I suggest graduates should be employed no matter the number government is able to recruit using such resources in various organizations. Kwesi Boateng Aipa writes, I keep on saying this. The word democracy is not good for the black man. And why is that, Kwesi? He says, why should you be taking salary for work not done? And these are the very people who are church elders and deacons. One black man, one corrupt behavior. Unfortunate.
And Berma Kwabaji from Jinijin says, this is another of the typical cases of much ado about nothing. The people in charge of our country now put anything out without backing them with facts. At least those who were there before could be contacted for some information, not blanket ones, as we keep saying. God save Ghana. Hadura Mystical Brahma says, look, I tell you, there are no ghosts out there. The directors and managers of this YEA intentionally create some loopholes to loot the state. They plant their own invisible people there as workers and then take these monies for themselves. Abdul Razak Abacha says, I'm sad for Mother Ghana. Why won't we suffer as Ghanaians with this kind of barbaric and primitive behavior? Jail awaits some people. Ghana will work again. And those are interesting comments on Facebook. Finally, we all get embarrassed sometimes, and it can be most awkward feeling ever. Embarrassing moments could last a split second, and in most cases are memorable for a lifetime. Whichever way they come, they may be difficult to forget. There are some though which make you laugh anytime you remember them. So I need you to share with me the most embarrassing moment of your life.
We had elections on campus, and then I hadn't voted before. It was my first time. So then, you know, you dip your little finger in the ink to show that you've voted, so that you don't come back. But then I actually go to the polls, and I was actually using my little finger on the ballot paper. So I realized it wasn't working out. Then I looked around, I was like, oh, okay, so you dip your hands, your thumb in the ink, and then I realized that people were actually looking at me, and I felt so embarrassed.
I was walking and I fell down in the middle of the street, and the shoes I was wearing wasn't even that high, but I still managed to fall down. Yeah, so that's the most embarrassing time of my life.
So how did it turn out? Did you struggle to get up?
Well, luckily somebody came. It was in the front of Marina Mall. Somebody just came and picked me up, but the security guards were just watching, so it was very embarrassing.
Shoelace got caught in the escalators, and I didn't know. I carried on walking, and it dragged me back, and everyone just walked over me. Yeah.
Interesting stuff, and you don't know the kind of things that happen to a lot of people. That's so embarrassing. But let's check out what you've been saying on Facebook.
Okay, Kwesi Boateng Ayipa is back, and he says, the moment you're in a Toyota Hiace bus full of, is that the way to pronounce it, Hiace? Bus full of fresh ladies. Toyota Hiace bus full of fresh ladies and gentlemen from Kumasi to Tadi, and it's rainy on the way, and you need to tell the driver that nature is calling. That is when you will know it is possible to sweat under air conditioning. It is then that you will know that witches don't need degree to operate.
Oh my
goodness. That's a funny one.
So that's what happened to you, right?
I suppose that's what happened to him. And Prince Rahman II says, okay, Samuel Jr. writes, mind dear, I had to stay off school for a week after my mom told my schoolmates at my age I still the wet bed.
Oh.
He doesn't want to disclose his age then, but he says, I was an indolent kid, not a kid who had to be forced out of bed, so he was wetting the bed. Oh. Barima Kubaji from Jinjini says, the most embarrassing moment I recall was when the food I had taken at a friend's wedding reception fell on the ground. I really wanted to pick it up because I love that delicacy, but people I felt shy of, including my headmaster, were eyeing me so closely. That thing pained me out till date. And the very last one says, Henry Akon says, I was sitting in a trotro from Tema to Accra. I was on my way to school. I had a big backpack. There was this vendor in the bus. I can't quite remember what he was selling. He asked the passengers to tell him what the correct English terminology is for the extra when we ask for making a purchase in Toso, for a handsome reward. I usually don't even listen to these vendors in the car, let alone respond to them. But that day, I don't know what came over me. I quickly put up my hand and said, addendum. He looked at me and said, hey, memorandum, hey, memorandum, and kept throwing on jabs at me. That students of today only carry big bags but know nothing. Well, nobody in the bus got it right, and he never said the right answer. I vowed to myself never to respond to any such questions in a trotro.
Check out the word of the week.
Our word for the week is ludicrous. Ludicrous is spelled L-U-D-I-C-R-O-U-S. Ludicrous.
It means something unreasonable or out of place, which could excite both laughter and scorn. It can be used to describe something laughable or absurd. Ludicrous can be used in place of the following commonly used words: silly, crazy, senseless, or amusing. An example of ludicrous in a sentence is:
yesterday, I came across a ludicrous picture of sheep being sold at a shopping mall.
Ludicrous notes. We end the interactive segment. How I wish we never ended.
You know what is ludicrous? You know what is ludicrous? What is ludicrous is the player not being able to score the goal after all those, you know, moves and everything. Yes, that is ludicrous.
And dancing to my favorite music and going there to just hit it over the bar. And that's how we end the interactive segment. It's a Friday. You know how we do it on Friday. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Have fun.